Hi, I'm Mr. eTutor, your mystery tutor here at mysterytutor.com, and welcome to video module 7-11. In this video module, I'd like to start talking about the improving paragraphs questions. Up till now, we haven't discussed these questions, but of course, they're going to be on the test, so we need to talk about them. The improving paragraphs questions are essentially a combination of two other question types that we've already talked about on the test, with one extra idea thrown in by the College Board. The two types of questions that we've already seen are the improving sentences questions and the critical reading questions. Roughly half of the improving paragraphs questions will succumb to the tactics that we would ordinarily use for improving sentences questions and critical reading questions. For example, turn to page 417 in your copy of the College Board's official SAT study guide and look at question number 30. 30 looks a little bit different from the average improving sentences question. Instead of several different versions of the given sentence, we have a series of changes that might be made to the given sentence instead. But each one of those changes would bring the given sentence either closer to or further away from the three standards that we discussed in Module 7-6. Let's try applying those ideas to this question, and we'll see how using the improving sentences approach will still work on these questions. Notice that answer choice A would get rid of one word in the sentence. This would bring the sentence a little bit closer to one standard that we discussed by making the original sentence a little bit shorter. That's good, right? It's certainly not a bad step. But let's see what else we have from the other answer choices. Notice that choice B would fail two of the standards that we'd like the ideal sentence to have. B would make the sentence a little bit longer by adding two letters into it, and it would also create one word ending in ED where before there had not been any. As you can see, this violates two of the standards that we discussed in Module 7-6. Let's take a look at answer choice C. C would change a word that ends in ing to a word that ends in ed. This is basically a step sideways from the perspective of the standards, and we can tell that this would not be an improvement over the original sentence as far as the SAT is concerned. Answer choice D, on the other hand, would bring us closer to all three standards, and we can tell right away this must be the correct answer. If we deleted this phrase, we would make the sentence shorter, which brings us closer to the first standard. We would remove a couple of short words, which brings us closer to the third standard. And we would delete one word ending in ing, bringing us closer to the second standard. Again, we can tell from this that D must be the correct answer because D does the best job of bringing us more in lines with the three standards we discussed in section 7-6. Finally, answer choice E would both make the original sentence longer and inject a couple of short words that we would try to avoid if we could. Now, many students who are untrained in the three standards that mark the correct answers for improving sentences questions would have a problem distinguishing between answer choice A and answer choice D. They might argue, and it would be a good argument, that either one of those things could sound better depending on who we ask. And that's completely true. But remember, our job with these questions, just like with the improving sentences questions themselves, is not to choose the answer choice that we think sounds the best. Instead, it's to choose the answer choice that we know the College Board thinks sounds the best. You see the difference? What you think and what I think has no bearing on the answer. The only thing that matters is what the College Board consistently rewards. That's what we want to pick. And that, in this case, would be choice D. So you can see that the improving sentences ideas will work fine on these types of questions in the improving paragraph section. If you turn the page and look at question number 32, you can see an example of an improving paragraphs question that basically relies on the same approach we would use for reading comprehension questions. And like I said, those two approaches combined will carry you through at least half of these questions. There's only one more thing we need to know to answer the remaining questions on the SAT's improving paragraph section, and that is this. As far as the College Board is concerned, the ideal paragraph in one of these improving paragraphs essays has as few concepts as possible. This means that when we have questions like 33 and 34 on page 418, our goal is to figure out if the cited sentence contributes ideas to the paragraph that don't appear anywhere else in the paragraph. If it does do that, then deleting the given sentence would reduce the number of ideas that appear in the paragraph and would be the recommended answer choice on an SAT test. Do you see how that works? The SAT wants every paragraph to have as few ideas as possible. So, if we're given a chance to delete something, we should choose to delete it if that sentence contains ideas that are not found anywhere else in the paragraph. On the other hand, question 35 on the same page asks us which sentence we should add to a given paragraph. Since we have to add one of them, the College Board wants you to add the one that would contribute the fewest new ideas to the original paragraph, again, resulting in the paragraph with the fewest number of total ideas possible. So, whenever you're asked whether you should add or subtract something to a given paragraph in this part of the SAT, you should always make the decision that will result in the paragraph having the fewest number of ideas. It may not make sense to you or me, but that's what the College Board has decided it likes, and that will reliably indicate the correct answer for these questions. And that's basically it for the improving paragraphs. It's a combination of two things we've already seen, the improving sentences questions and the reading comprehension questions, and one new thing, the idea that every paragraph should have as few ideas as possible if you get a chance to change it. As you can see, these questions aren't really that bad. Just like every other question type on the SAT that we've looked at, once you know the right way to play the game, it's much, much easier than you think.